Spinoffs. I know that word probably shocked you. They made you a little angry, a little scared. And rightfully so, because spinoffs have a very, 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 very bad reputation. Most of the time, it's just studios trying to milk the fuck out of the franchise for what it's worth and then just dumping it off, leaving it to die. You know, it's being banished to the Shadow Realm, never to be heard or seen from again. And that's it. That's it. The show has a horrible reputation and then people just forget about it. And yeah, The Walking Dead in specific. Anyways, Better Call Saul is not one of those shows, however. It is one of the very, 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 very few spin-offs that actually works. And it is so good that a lot of people, and I might be one of these people, that think that this show is better than...
Greatest defender, a top defender in the history of the NBA. And then they won
right
70.
I know, crazy. But why do people think that? Why do a lot of people love and prefer Better Call Saul over Breaking Bad? Well, a lot of reasons actually. First off, the people who made the show cared. They cared a lot about the universe and story that they were trying to tell and convey. The cast, the crew, the writers, everyone here put their all into this show. It did not feel like a cheap attempt to imitate Breaking Bad. It's its own separate thing while being involved in the Breaking Bad universe. It actually adds on to the world of Breaking Bad, and when you rewatch Breaking Bad after watching Better Call Saul, it really is a different experience. I mean, it's not like a crazy experience, but it really is different because now that you know kind of the lore of what happens in this world, when you rewatch it, a lot of things start to make sense, and then you start to look at characters a lot more differently. You know, Gustavo Fring, Mike, and Jimmy, of course, you look at them a little differently now because now you know their history, the backstory. And overall, this was a very well-crafted story. I mean, it's not perfect by any means necessary, but I'd say it's pretty damn close. And man, it does everything well. And Better Call Saul is a bit of a slow burn. Like, if you're not someone that, you know, like if you're used to, you know, a lot of suspense and action, then this show may not be for you. You know what? Let me take that back. You should still watch the show anyways. It is still a good show. It's just, man, I'm trying to put it into words how I feel about the show. Because I'm so passionate and I love the show so much.
Bro, is dick riding all you do?
No, I'm
Like,
saying
you literally got that nigga dick in your mouth right now. I see it.
All right, I got my thoughts together. Anyways, this show introduces a lot of new characters into the fold. It introduces Kim, Howard, Nacho, Lalo Salamanca, which I think is one of the best characters that they created in the Breaking Bad universe. He's definitely my top favorite for sure. And they flushed these characters out so fucking well. It's just insane that it's such a fleshed out world. Everyone gets a chance to shine. Everyone has their moment in the spotlight. Man, Lalo Salamanca being one of those characters. He was only in the show for 2 seasons, but he's one of the most beloved characters on Better Call Saul. Everyone loves Lalo. He's charismatic, he's cold, he's calculating. He's a very dangerous person to go up against in this world. And it's crazy because, again, he was only in this show for 2 seasons, but he's still a very fleshed out character. He doesn't feel cheap. He doesn't feel like a knockoff. He feels very original and fresh. And again, like I said before, it's very fleshed out. We get to see Mike Ehrmantraut and Gustavo Fring's backstory. We get to see a lot of, you know, them building up their empire, and, you know, the rivalry between the cartel gets explored a lot more in the show. And of course, we get to see how Jimmy became Saul Goodman, which is a very, very soul-crushing story. It's very heartbreaking. It's got a lot of emotion and heart in it. But yeah, this is why Better Call Saul works, because it wasn't trying to imitate the magic that Breaking Bad had. It created its own magic. And they used some of the elements from Breaking Bad, some of the characters, to enrich Better Call Saul. It didn't use Walt or Jesse or even Hank in like a way like, oh, let's bring these characters back because people love them so much. No, they only came back because they served a purpose to the overall story. They weren't just there for fan service. And what a lot of these spin-offs do is that exactly what I just said. They like to bring them in just for fan service. They don't add any substance to the story. They're just there because, oh, look, there's my favorite character. Like, that's what they're there for. And of course, people don't like that. Like, it's cool to see, but it's just kind of it's just like nothing. Like, it's just, it has no substance too. Like, there's no purpose for it. However, Better Call Saul uses these characters perfectly. Like, again, Hank, we only got to see him for, I think, maybe like an episode or two, but he served such a big role in, the story at the time, which was when Gustavo had to give up his drops because Lalo Salamanca would know. Like, it's a whole thing, but he served the purpose there. And of course, again, it's just nice to see these characters again after all these years. Like it's just nice. Like, it's such a good callback. But overall, the reason why Better Call Saul works is because it had a story to tell. It knew exactly what it wanted to be. It wasn't trying to be something else. And a lot of these spin-offs don't do that. They don't put the same amount of effort into these shows like with Better Call Saul. And also, the big thing is that they let the show end. They let the universe end. There's only three, or I guess four pieces of media that exist. It's just Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, El Camino, which is the movie that takes place after Breaking Bad, and then the prequel series of the animated Jimmy, like the animated Jimmy show. I don't know, but I didn't watch that. But from what people told me, it's not that good. But yeah, they let the show end. They gave everyone a conclusion, and for the most part, they were all very satisfying to see. On Yeah, they let the universe end, which is something that a lot of shows do not do nowadays. Like how I mentioned before, The Walking Dead. That show has like fucking 10 spin-offs. 10. And I probably might not be exaggerating that they might have 10 spin-offs. That is crazy. Okay, let me see if I can name them all actually. We have The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead World Beyond, the Rick and Michonne series, the Daryl Dixon show, the Negan and Maggie show. What else? There might be more, but I can't think of any more. But that's crazy. Like, I just named 5. It's fucking crazy that they won't let this show die. They won't let these characters have a satisfying conclusion. They just want to keep milking it and milking it and milking it. Like, there's no end to the series. Even the Walking Dead season finale, it was a decent finale. It wasn't crazy or anything, but it didn't feel like a conclusion. Like, it was setting up characters for their own spin-offs. They just don't let these characters have like a good ending. They just want to keep dragging it out for as much as they can, and that just doesn't work. People don't want to see that. Like, it's become so bad to the point where most people aren't even aware of the fact that The Walking Dead has spin-offs. They gave up on the show entirely, and yeah, that's just not how you want your show to go down. Like, it's sad because The Walking Dead in the beginning was a very good show. Everyone was crazy about it. It was a culture phenomenon, but now it's just like a distant memory that people barely remember it. And yeah, you just don't want your show to go out that way. But Better Call Saul, amazing show. 10 out of 10. A lot of people prefer it over Breaking Bad. And yeah, that's just what happens when you do a spin-off right, when a spin-off actually works. So I hope that we get more shows like Better Call Saul. We get better spin-offs, because when you do it right, it is such a crazy experience, Like, there were so many crazy things that happened in Better Call Saul. Spoilers if you haven't watched it, but when Howard gets killed by Lalo Salamanca and the episode just ends, crazy. Everyone in the comment section was like in disbelief. It was like watching Invincible episode 1 when Omni-Man kills like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, everyone's just in shock and disbelief that what the fuck did I just watch, And it didn't happen for shock value. There was a reason and there was a purpose behind it. It served the story a lot more, especially with Jimmy and Kim. But man, when you do a spin-off right, this is what happens. Like, I hope studios look at what Better Call Saul did and think like, maybe I need to put a little more thought into this, you know? Because again, the show ran for 6 seasons, and yeah, it was like I think it started in 2015 and ended in 2022. So yeah, it had a pretty long run. Like it didn't get canceled or anything. They were able to, give the story that they wanted to tell, and they did a good job. They did a phenomenal job. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, uh, I love Better Call Saul. I think it's well, no, there is another show that I'm going to talk about, but it is definitely in my top three of favorite shows of all time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys thought of Better Call Saul. If you prefer it over Breaking Bad, or if you still think Breaking Bad is better. I want to hear your thoughts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch you guys in the next one.